Joining me now is Nick Cater, Senior Fellow at the Menzies Research Centre. Nick, thank you for your time. As I mentioned there in my editorial, more details are emerging about these two Australian brothers killed in southern Lebanon. Now, one of them has been announced by Hezbollah as one of its fighters. These are concerning revelations, aren't they?
Very concerning, Caroline. Look, I mean, regardless of the Hezbollah claim that this was one of their fighters, and the draping of the coffin in the Hezbollah flag, which I would have thought is pretty slam dunk proof, really. Regardless of that, nobody goes to southern Lebanon to sightsee these days, if they ever did. And it's deeply concerning that you had people like this who are so far off the radar, apparently, that the government wasn't aware of them and couldn't stop them leaving the country. Hundreds of thousands of law-abiding Australian citizens were prevented from leaving the country because of COVID, and we can't stop this. But I tell you what, Caroline, I think it's a real wake-up call for those useful idiots, those fellow travellers who've been joining these Palestinian demonstrations around the country, university students, left-wingers, climate change activists of various kinds. Just bear in mind that the people you are standing next to who are chanting death to the Jews and who are chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, they actually mean that. And they are prepared, some of them at least, to go to Lebanon to fight for that cause, to fight to wipe Israel off the map. Deeply concerning, as you say.
Yes, deeply, and it just goes to show that these aren't empty threats some of the times that we hear on the streets. It can turn into real actions. Look, moving on to something else today, iconic probiotic brand Yakult, a childhood favourite of mine, has confirmed it has been hit by a significant cyber attack that has seen sensitive employee documents published on the dark web. Seriously, is nothing safe anymore, Nick? This just comes a week after the St Vincent's Health Network was hacked. These attacks show no signs of stopping, do they?
Yeah, there was obviously a culture of laziness to security or something going on in Yakult. But look, I mean, you want to joke about this. I mean, you wonder what use that data would be. But it is of use, of course, because they've stolen, as I understand it, employees' records, passport numbers, driver's licenses, those kind of things, which can be used, of course, for criminal purposes. And it just goes to show that every company, in fact, all of us individually, need to be a lot more conscious of the need to be careful with our data online and aware that whatever we put online could essentially be public information. So, yeah, it's another warning.
And I guess makes these companies susceptible to attempts to blackmail as well. Let's move on to this interesting survey that's come out today. Penny Wong has topped a list of the most popular federal politicians, according to an exclusive survey by the Sydney Morning Herald. And Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie came in second, with Jacinta Price third. The survey also revealed the least favourite politicians. Scott Morrison on the top with a likeability score of -35. Ouch. Lydia Thorpe a close second on -29. Nick, what do you make of these results? Does Penny Wong deserve the top spot?
Well, not in my humble view. And I mean, there's only one person. I mean, there's a standout winner, obviously, and that should have been Jacinta Price. And look, she got in at third. I think she is the only coalition politician in the top 10, which has to tell you something about the standard of the polling and the reliability of it. I mean, let's face it. There was a poll on October the 14th in this country where people voted on the cause for which Jacinta Price had been arguing. And it won by 60-40. So I don't really think that this is an accurate poll at all. And Scott Morrison, I think, look, OK, it's very fashionable and, for people on the left, even people on the right, to beat up on Scott Morrison. But he's achieved more in his political career than Anthony Albanese ever will, because he signed the AUKUS agreement, which gave us nuclear submarines. That is his greatest legacy, and it should never be forgotten, however he appears in these questionable opinion polls.
Yeah, I can't say I think we'd get the same results if we did a Sky News survey here. But finally, Nick, I want to talk about a great piece you wrote this week about the year of the influencer, as Taylor Swift is the first entertainer to be nominated as Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Tell us about this. Why is 2023 the year of the influencer?
look at 97 years they've been awarding this Person of the Year for the person who has most influence on the world during that year. And it's the first time they've chosen entertainer. And I'm thinking, you what? I mean, there's so much serious things going on in the world. You know, the world is probably in a more dangerous position than it's been in the last, well, certainly in my lifetime. And yet, so we can't find somebody of the caliber of, say, Winston Churchill or Roosevelt, you know, as our leader. That's a little bit worrying that it's Taylor Swift. And I'm not so sure about, I mean, I may be biased, I may be showing my age here, but, you know, she's certainly an accomplished musician and she's enormously popular and all that. But I very much doubt that she'll have the longevity of somebody like, say, even Carole King, or she certainly wasn't a songwriter like Stephen Sondheim or you know, Leonard Bernstein, who wrote West Side Story. Those people's work endures, and I honestly don't think she even comes close as an artist to those standards. But look, I'll wait for the hate mail.
Well, all those Swifties who spend hours refreshing their internet page trying to get tickets to her shows here might disagree with you. But look, Nick Cater, thank you. I'm nominating you for Time's Person of the Year next year. Thanks for your time.